Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I'm your guest host. My name is Dr. Nasir, and what we've got on tap for you today is another video clip. This time it's Senator Ted Cruz questioning Deputy Attorney General Clarke and asking the question, why is it that you seem to have a bias and the Department of Justice has a bias and a prejudice against conservatives? We're going to get into that, folks. It was an absolute fiery debate. Ted Cruz, as usual, doing his grilling and questioning, and we're going to get to that in just the next few seconds. But before we do, if you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, like, share, and follow us. Put your comments down below. Let us know what you think. Let's get to that video clip of Ted Cruz questioning Clarke.
Testified before this committee, and when Attorney General Garland testified before this committee, you both promised to be nonpartisan and impartial. I'm sorry to say that I think neither of you have lived up to that promise. Within weeks of President Biden being sworn in, the Department of Justice dismissed a Civil Rights Division lawsuit it had against Yale University for explicit racial discrimination. Yale has a policy that discriminates against Asian Americans at admissions. It does so brazenly and openly. And yet, the Department of Justice decided that preventing racial discrimination did not fit within the purview of the Biden DOJ. Now, in your defense, you were not yet there, neither was Merrick Garland. So that was merely the initial political operatives of the Biden administration doing what they believed was consistent with the preferences of the president. But just this week, after you were there, after Merrick Garland was there, the Department of Justice issued a memorandum to the FBI instructing them to mobilize against parents across the country, parents of school kids, who have the temerity to show up at school boards and express their opposition to the teaching of critical race theory, a pernicious theory that divides us on racial lines, that tells school children the lie that America is fundamentally racist, that America is irredeemably racist, that all white people are racist. It spreads racial division. Many parents are understandably quite dismayed at schools that are teaching this to their children, sometimes as young as 5. And yet the Department of Justice looked at that issue and decided to label the parents objecting to this teaching as domestic terrorists. Did you participate in discussions about the memo before it was issued?
Senator, I can't talk about internal deliberations.
You can't talk about whether you participated in discussions about the memo?
No, but what I can tell you is that the Civil Rights Division will play a role going forward. The Attorney General has asked the department to undertake a review, and the division will participate in that review to determine how federal enforcement tools can be used to prosecute crimes.
Do you believe parents objecting to the teaching of critical race theory have civil rights in the democratic process?
I don't follow the question, Senator.
What an idiot. What a moron. You're there, the Deputy Attorney General. Okay, you are the Deputy Attorney General, and you go, I don't understand the question. Well, perhaps maybe you fall under the acronym of SIMMER, Kristen. Maybe we need to mansplain it to you. Maybe, Senator Ted Cruz needs to, Lucy got some splaining do. What do you need here? Huh? Do you need Ricky Ricardo to come out there for you? Is that what's going on here? I mean, I don't understand the question. I just don't understand it. I'm just a simmer. Acronym. SIMR. I'm stupid. I'm idiotic. I'm a moron. I'm retarded. I don't understand the question. I mean, these people can't answer a simple, basic question, yes or no, because they have a narrative that they have to fulfill. They have to push a certain woke agenda. They have to virtue signal. They're not going to answer yes or no. They're going to obfuscate, and then they're going to ask stupid rhetorical questions back as if I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. Plain as day, a 5-year-old understands this question, but the Deputy Attorney General, oh, hell no. I don't know what's going on.
You don't understand the question whether parents objecting to critical race theory have civil rights?
The First Amendment is a core value in our democracy. And
I didn't say free speech, I said civil rights. School board meetings are democratic that they are petitioning your local government. Do they have civil rights that the voting rights gives a damn about?
Yet they have the right to express their view, to challenge the school boards, to ask.
And is it beneficial for the Attorney General to label them as domestic terrorists and direct the FBI to target them?
The Attorney General's memo deals with threats against public servants and says that threats against public servants are not only illegal, they run counter to our nation's core values.
Do you believe parents objecting at school boards are domestic terrorists?
I don't, Senator.
Do you believe Antifa are domestic terrorists?
I don't have a view about Antifa.
She doesn't have a view about Antifa. No. Why? Because she's black. So her first question is going to be defend black theory, defend black people. I mean, that's the first thing she's going to go. She's going to go to race, and she's going to go to gender. She's going to go to the Democratic, talking points. She's going to go to the liberal talking points. She's going to basically, go to be woke. That's the direction that's the lane that she's traveling in. And she doesn't want to take any exits off of that lane.
Do you believe the Black Lives Matter protesters who burned shops, who firebombed police cars, who murdered police officers, do you believe they're domestic terrorists?
Good question.
Senator, I believe that we live in a society where people espouse different views, but
Oh my God, the Deputy Attorney General. So Black Lives Matter, domestic terrorist group, burning buildings, throwing Molotov cocktails, destroying property, killing and murdering police officers, just causing billions of dollars worth of damage. I believe, Senator, that different people, they espouse different views, and if they want to kill, police officers, if they want to burn down buildings, if they want to, loot and just, grab and go from stores and just cause billions worth of damage, well, they espouse different views than me and you. They have their views, we have ours.
we don't want our threats.
Ms. Clarke, it is amazing that you're not willing to condemn people who are murdering police officers and firebombing cities because your politics aligns with them. But at the same time, when it comes to parents at school boards, you're perfectly comfortable with calling a mom at a PTA meeting a domestic terrorist. Ms. Clarke, with all due respect, this demonstrates why the Democrat proposal to take someone with as long a partisan record as you have and to put you in charge of striking down any voting rights law in the country that you disagree with is nothing but a partisan power grab. Let me give another example, because your division has operated in a purely partisan way. The Department of Justice dismissed the civil rights lawsuits against the state of New York, the state of Pennsylvania, the state of Michigan for those governors' policies that sent COVID-positive patients into nursing homes, forced the nursing homes to take those patients, a political decision that resulted in tens of thousands of deaths. One of those governors, Andrew Cuomo, has now resigned in disgrace, and his staff had admitted they lied, underreporting the deaths that policy caused, and yet your division dismissed the lawsuit against those Democratic governors. How are we to see that as anything other than a purely partisan decision?
The letters that were issued to officials in the matters that you referenced were put together by career officials inside the department.
Career officials can't be partisan?
This department carries out its work free from political
Are you
interference.
testifying to this committee that there are no career officials in the Department of Justice who are partisan?
Partisanship does not impact the...
BS. I call BS. Bullshit. I call it out on you, honey. There's no such thing as partisanship as career politicians in the state, in the deep state, in government. Oh no. 90% of people in government, okay, they give to the Democratic Party. And when they do give to the Republican Party, it's like pennies on the dollar. This lady, okay, she's lying through her freaking derriere.
The way that we carry out our
Except
enforcement
miraculously, you dismissed the lawsuits against Democratic governors, even when their policies may have caused the deaths of tens of thousands of people. You also dismissed a lawsuit that was brought against a medical center that had a pattern of discriminating against healthcare providers that, for conscience reasons, didn't want to implement abortions, even though clear federal law protects their civil rights. Why did you dismiss that civil rights lawsuit in contravention of federal law?
General Garland has made clear, and I agree, that partisanship has no place in the enforcement
Except
work
every decision
of
you
the
make is
Justice
partisan.
Department.
Your actions contradict those statements.
That, folks, is just absolutely unbelievable. I mean, this is just, one of those things where you just have to. It's just amazing, folks. It's absolutely amazing that these politicians, not politicians, that these, officials that have been put in charge in very high power positions within government. I mean, the Deputy Attorney General of the United States of America, they have that kind of bias, that kind of prejudice, that kind of racial hatred, that kind of bigotry, that kind of enmity for conservatives, and then to blatantly. I mean, you saw Senator Cruz there. I mean, he couldn't control himself. He was actually, laughing at the notion, at the thought that was being put forward by Kristen Clarke, that partisanship has nothing to do. It doesn't even come into the, we're all from the planet Vulcan, live long and prosper. It's all logical, no emotion whatsoever, no partisanship. Career officials there, oh, they just do their job. They don't give a damn if it's Democrat or Republican. We all know that's a pile of manure, a pile of excrement, a pile of unbelievable political BS. We all know that, folks. But it's going to continue, because that's exactly what the Biden administration wants. Because when they elect these people, they're electing them not on what they know, not on their experience, not if they can do the job, not if they're for America first. They're doing it so they can push their own woke ideological agenda. They can push their social justice warriorship. They can push their virtue signaling. They can push their intersectionality. They can push their identity politics. That's what it's all about, folks. That's all that matters to the Democratic Party, to the progressives, to the liberals, to the socialists, to the Marxists, whoever they are. That's it. It's not America first, folks. It isn't. Anyways, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. You've been watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I've been your guest host. My name is Dr. Nasir. If you haven't done so, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, like, share, and follow us. Put your comments down below. Let us know where you fall on the political spectrum. Did you agree with what I thought, or do you disagree? I'd really like to know your thoughts. Anyways, folks, my final thought is, when you're right, and when you're left, you're wrong. We'll see you again next time, folks. Take care and stay safe.